Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny and Bert. The Dividend Diplomats. Here, we are going to talk to you today about one of our favorite dividend stocks. This is just a high quality dividend growth stock that is a Dividend Aristocrat that's increased its earnings for 37 consecutive years. This yield of 4.2% is looking pretty nice right now in this current market environment. So we're going to look at it and say, is it a dividend stock to buy today?
Smash that subscribe button, guys. Give us a nice thumbs up. We've got a stock we're going to compare it to its biggest competitor in the industry, two colossus giants in the industry. It's actually an industry that I've been buying lately at a certain, not one of these stocks, but a stock when it hits below a certain price. So the question is now the time to just start going in on this industry and in on this Dividend Aristocrat stock that Bert already owns?
That's right. So who are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk to you today about Chevron, ticker symbol CVX. In addition to their earnings, there are some other reasons why I always keep an eye on oil during when certain things are going on. As there's conflict usually in the Middle East, as there's turmoil, as a lot of the geopolitical things happen, causes a lot of strange fluctuations that you're going to see in the price per barrel of oil because the Middle East is such a large producer. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on here on Chevron. That's what caught me and said, let's take a little bit of a look. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about Chevron and then compare it to Exxon. Because over the next few weeks, if things get really messy in the Middle East, I'm going to flock to safety. I'm going to flock to some of the best in the oil sector. And you can't tell me that Chevron is not one of the best out there.
The best of the best, guys, Chevron. Now, again, they're a 280 billion market cap company. Not the biggest oil company, but they are kissing up there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
but Bert, you said they had a strong third quarter here, right, for Chevron.
that's right.
Kind of what were some of those metrics that they had performed from that third quarter?
They had going here off their quick summary article here from Seeking Alpha. They saw worldwide production jump up 6.9% due to record production of the Permian Basin and acquisitions. Overall, total U.S. production jumped. International output gained. They're also, even though they did end up reporting a slight earnings decrease, so that was the one thing to note. There was a drop in earnings, but they're also targeting $2 to $3 billion of cost savings over the next few years, and they're continuing to slim down the balance sheet, divest things that aren't strategically going to align, and focus on the profitable areas like the Permian Basin that helped lead them to charge here in Q3. So overall, strong earnings from Chevron.
Yep, grow it up, cut where you can, and continue to do that and repeat. Continue to expand in those high profitable areas. But Bert, this stock is slightly up this year, about 4%. Now, I noticed you said a earnings decrease. Now, we'll have to look at it when we run them through the DD stock screener, which again hits on those three metrics: price to earnings ratio less than the S&P 500, dividend payout ratio less than 60%, and third, a history of growing dividends. We'll have to see if there's an impact here on that price to earnings and dividend payout ratio when it comes to a lower possible earnings here.
That's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to run them through, and we're also going to then share the metrics of ExxonMobil, ticker symbol
Ooh,
XOM. See
let me
how
play
Chevron,
Exxon, please.
see how Chevron stacks up against their arch rival. And just for comparison's sake, you
Big
said that
oil.
Chevron's not the largest. Their market cap is 278. ExxonMobil's market cap is 500 million. So Exxon is double the size. So let's see how Chevron stacks up against the Goliath in their sector.
500 bill Exxon. I'm going to be them. Bert's going to be Chevron. Let's see who's looking good right now.
All right, PE ratio. Chevron's price is 155.24. EPS is $10.43. That's a PE ratio of 14.88.
Ooh, well, Exxon's trading at 113.57. Forward earnings of $7.94. A lower PE, just slightly, at 14.3 times earnings.
All right,
What do you
Chevron's.
think about that, Chico?
All right, yeah, looking through it, I mean, Exxon's cheaper. They're both cheap, but Exxon is obviously the cheaper one. Chevron's dividend is $6.52. It's a payout ratio of 62.51%, just a smidge above that target dividend payout ratio, just a smidge.
Just a smidge above, guys. Dividend payout ratio here. This is where it gets a little bit interesting based on that forward earnings and a $3.96 dividend here. Exxon's payout ratio is actually a lot lower, surprisingly, at about 50%.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is lower. So Exxon's had a lower PE and a lower payout ratio. Let's talk dividend growth here. Chevron's 5-year dividend growth rate is 6.49%, and they've increased that dividend for 37 years. Yes, they are that Dividend Aristocrat, like I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes, they are. And so is ExxonMobil at over 26 plus years. 5-year average dividend growth rate's only a little bit over 2%, but their last one this year was just over 4%. So they're trying to right size that growth rate a little bit here.
Interesting. Let's take a look here at the yield. Chevron's dividend yield is 4.2%, which is just a little bit below its 5-year average yield of 4.41%.
Oof. Okay. All right. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's below the 5-year average, but over 4%. ExxonMobil, is it over 4%? It's not. Come on, Exxon. You're at 3.49%, which is well below their 5-year average yield at the moment.
Okay, so we're going to put the charts up here side by side. Let's just go metric by metric. Who is the winner here for ExxonMobil? Chevron is PE ratio slightly higher than Exxon. Exxon gets the check here for the PE ratio. Chevron has a high. Yeah, sorry, Exxon gets the check. Payout ratio, Exxon 50%. Exxon gets the check. Dividend growth, they're both aristocrats. Chevron, higher dividend growth, but we're going to see what happens. We'll give Chevron the check mark for the dividend growth. Yield has to go to Chevron with that 4.2% yield. So where does this take us, Lanny?
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
But there's one thing we didn't mention here from a comparison. Yeah, we didn't mention the performance. Exxon's crushing it from a performance standpoint here. We'll put the year-to-date and the 5-year up. Exxon's 5-year, they are up 63% compared to Chevron, who's only up 7.57%. So great run over the last 5 years for Exxon.
You know, I'm going to tip my cap right now to Chevron still at the moment. I'm not afraid about the 62% payout ratio. I don't think that's too much. It's going to impact the growth rate by a significant amount compared to Exxon. If we're just comparing to Exxon, and I think you're getting almost a full percent higher on the yield comparatively to Exxon. Both are great stocks. What are you thinking, Bert?
Yeah, I came in asking, am I going to be buying Chevron today? The answer is no. Exxon's looking good too, but both of these stocks, if there is a pullback, there is chaos in the oil sector and causes them to plummet, I can guarantee you I'm probably going to be running back, at least buying 1 or 2 shares of Chevron or ExxonMobil.
What's your point? Where do you want to see Chevron for you to be like, okay, like if it's at 140 a share,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 140 to 145 a share. Exxon, it's going to have to fall for a little bit. I would probably say 100 to 105.
Boom. So he needs about 10% drops here across the board, guys. Let's see if we hit it. Are you guys buying big oil? Are you buying Chevron stock? Are you buying ExxonMobil? Let us know in the comments, guys, what other stocks you're buying. Keep us posted.
If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And remember, you're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.